It's the Two Gems Podcast.
The challenge that no one cares about.
Why am I still tasting pops on our show? I have no idea.
Okay, have we
no
started?
No one cares. Like, you'd think that, like, the way that I'm taking this so serious, you'd think that every episode people were like, man, Matthew, well done with the Pepsi challenge. Nobody cares, but we're doing it anyway.
Okay, should I just pour it now while we're talking?
Just get it over with. Like, this is it. Mike, I'm not doing it 5 times. If I complete this again today, we're moving along.
Okay.
You've had enough airtime.
Okay, turn around.
Turning around.
Are you actually?
Oh, yeah, I'm so overdoing this.
Okay, hold on.
If I go 3 for 3, that's it.
Okay. In case anyone's really curious what we're doing. You looked.
What?
Turn around.
Oh, I thought you were all ready for me to do it.
No, I was talking to the people.
Okay, well, now it looks like I already know, so you're going to have to figure it out.
Well, I'll just, okay.
Oh, Sheridan.
Do you know?
No, I have no idea.
Well,
but
then.
now,
No one cares, Matt, so it's really no concern. Okay, there you go.
okay, do you know what's what?
No, hon, I don't know.
That's Coke.
Good job,
Mike,
babe.
it's over. 3 for 3, bud. I'm never going to fail this. I can discern the taste perfectly. Let's move along. You've had your airtime, buddy. I win.
Hey, hon.
Hi.
It's nice to be back in our studio.
You look beautiful, Sheridan. Nursing your little mini hangover today.
You know, thank you for the compliment. And I actually wanted to start this episode off by giving you some compliments.
This is the first in 9 years.
That's
What's
not
up, babe?
true. No, I find that I'm not as good as, which would you like, Coke or Pepsi?
Really care.
Okay, I'll give you Coke.
Thank you.
I'm not as great as doling out compliments. I think it's because for me, like if I hear the same thing all the time, it just doesn't. What's the word I'm looking for here? Sorry,
I think you're making excuses, but
no, but like I like to hear a compliment every once in a while, and then I really love it rather than hearing the same thing every day. Because I'm like, do you even mean it, or are you just saying it to say it? But you should get some compliments. So, fun fact: a long time ago, when Matt and I first started dating, he asked me to tell him 100 reasons why I loved him, and I did it. And I actually wrote 100 reasons down. It was so cute on different color paper, and then I folded them up and put them in a jar. And I came to Nova Scotia with a jar of 100 reasons why I loved you.
it was so cute.
So cute.
It was so cute. It was one of the most thoughtful things you ever did.
Yeah.
It was really nice. I wish we had them. They're around somewhere.
They're definitely upstairs. I would have kept that. Like that's
How much of it rings true, I wonder?
That's
of
what I'm
those
saying.
100
I want to
reasons?
read them again and be like, are those still facts?
You're very good at cleaning the house, Matthew.
That was never on the list.
Wah, wah.
That was never there. No, but seriously. And I think that I personally do think that I say nice things to you, but I guess I don't really say it much on the show. And you are always giving me compliments on the show all the time.
I give you compliments all the time.
You do. And so there's so many things I love about you. I could go on forever. But I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to give Matt some compliments. So you want to hear them?
Sure.
Okay. I love the way you look. Not that it matters.
Aw.
I like your smile. I think you're a great dad. That's probably one of my favorite things about you is watching you parent. And like, even for example, sometimes when I get so frustrated and I walk away and I'll turn around and I'll see you bending down, having conversations with the kids and like exuding patience that I certainly do not have, which is commendable because patience with kids isn't always a thing. And you really take the time to explain to them and to like even yesterday, actually, because you were frustrated in the morning when we got them out of the house. And when they came home, you took a moment to talk to them and gathered them around and apologized for being kind of a stink in the morning. And Theo was so appreciative.
He really was. He's like, I love you, Dad. And gives me this big hug.
I don't want to sidebar here, but just like, it's so important to be able to apologize to your children because they have to learn it somewhere.
Yes.
And you saying sorry and taking ownership of that, they're like, oh my gosh, thank you. Right? Because they deserve to hear it too, even though they're little humans.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, that's relevant but irrelevant. I love. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say to that point. I do think, I don't think my parents really ever did that to me. I don't think they ever did. And I think that as parents, I think sometimes it's important that, you get down on their level sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think we need to be like the wolf pack leaders in the house. But at the end of the day, I think it's important that you like get on your knees sometimes and look eye to eye with them and like own up if you frigged something up, instead of acting like you're like some perfect person and I'm always right because I'm older. It's like, I frig up all the time.
Yeah.
And like, I think, you know that more than anyone. I think I do frig up all the time, but I do think that I always come around within the next 6 to 12 hours and like own up to my mistakes.
I think my parents always did a really good job of talking. I remember we had like a specific living room that nobody would ever sit in. There was like a settee in there. That's what it's called. I think those like fancy chairs. Is that not what it's called?
I have
Maybe
no
I just
idea.
totally made that up. And like the fancy stuff were in there. So you didn't really go in unless like your parents had a dinner party. But that was the place to go talk. Like my mom would be like, I'll meet you in the living room. In the living room. And we would have really great conversations, like really great conversations. But I also don't remember my parents apologizing to me much. I mean, maybe they didn't have a lot to apologize for, but I do think that as a parent, and maybe it just wasn't so much a thing back in that generation to do that. And we're learning how important it is to do that for our children. Because like I said, like it all starts at home and that's where they learn the important stuff. And
Yeah.
taking ownership of your mistakes and apologizing is huge.
And I think too that for you and I, we always stress that like as they go into their teenage years, I want them to be comfortable telling me things, and you know what I mean, like building that like taking away any resistance and opening up that dialogue with our children, that you can come to us and tell us anything. Like, am I perfect? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
All the mistakes they're gonna make in their teens. Shoplifting and stupid shit that teenagers do. It's like we've all
right there.
No, but I'm just thinking of that.
Stealing.
Yeah, no, but I'm just like, they're all going to do that stupid stuff. And I think it's important that they know that, like, we also made those mistakes.
Right.
We're all in this together. So,
Yep.
like, don't beat yourself up too much about it. Just learn from it, apologize, and keep on moving. So, anyway, we're way off track. But
No, well, not really, because I
Where's
will.
my compliment?
I will go back to you and how much I love you. But
I'm kidding.
no, I actually do agree. And continuing on with that point, I think it's really important for your kids to also see you showing all of your emotions and your feelings, and when you're having a hard day, rather than going and closing the door and not showing that side of you. Oftentimes, when I'm having a hard time, or if Kaya asks me, I will not say I'm fine. She's like, are you okay? I'm like, well, actually, I'm having a really tough day. There's a lot going on here. Like, I'll express my emotions, which is so important too for kids, because then they learn that they should express their emotions too.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a bad thing to be mad, sad, angry, frustrated. Like, it's just what you're going through, right?
Have you ever, is there some book called like Big Boys Don't Cry or something like that?
So I bought that book. It's called Little Boys, or no, it's called Boys,
No,
whatever
Big
it is.
Boys Don't Cry, I think.
That is what it's called.
So the other day, I brought the boys out four-wheeling. I'm saying this as though you don't know it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I brought Theodore and Sage out four-wheeling with all of my friends the other day. And so, and there was some women there too, but I mean, it was predominantly men, and we're all kind of standing around in this giant pit, and guys doing wheelies and all this stuff. And Theodore's standing there by the bonfire, and he made some comment about, I don't know why he said it, but he said something like, in front of everyone, he said something like, big boys don't cry. And then I leaned into him, and I was like, Theodore, Daddy cries every day. like it's okay to be open with your emotions and stuff. And he goes, no, Dad, at the end of the story, the big boy does cry. And I was like, good man. There you go, bud.
I was going to say, did he not learn from that story? Yeah,
No, at the end, he goes, the big boy did cry. And I didn't know that. I had never read this story before, but it was really cute. And Theodore's so friggin' cute. Oh, my God.
That's an awesome story, and also very true for men and how they should. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a man, so I can't speak on it. But I think a lot of times society has kind of painted this picture where men need to be macho and this and that, and don't cry, and don't wear their heart on their sleeves, and don't have all these emotions, when in fact they absolutely do.
Yeah.
And it's like they've had to like push it down, right? Because it's not quote normal for men to be like that. You know, I don't know why.
You
but
know what? This is probably a perfect segue into reflecting on last episode for a minute.
Okay.
Because that's almost like a perfect segue. So if you listen to episode 21, I think it's what it was, the last one.
I think a lot of people did tune into that one.
Yeah, it's that one has quite a few views on it, a lot of comments, and a lot of DMs and stuff like that, and it even garnered a 20-minute email from your father as well.
No, let's poke that for just a sec. So, fun fact: when Matt and I first got together, you're not going to lose your point, are you? If I just go,
no, go ahead.
So, when Matt and I first got together, which was like 8 years ago, I guess now.
No, it'd be 9 in February, buddy.
Wow.
A year shy of a decade.
And we were sitting at our dinner table, and at this point, my parents were still together, so we were all sitting together. And was Jesse there? I think he was.
Yeah, I mean, Jesse was around quite a bit and stuff, yeah.
And we spoke a lot, quite openly, about sex, and Matt was like, what is happening?
No.
You don't need to go into
as the new
detail.
guy in the house, you know what I mean? It's just one of those things you just want, carry yourself with a bit more respect and stuff. And then your dad's over there saying these things. But it was funny because your mom, the dynamic between your mom and your dad was really funny to me, because your mom would be over there rolling her eyes and like, Peter and stuff, and like your dad's over there like saying the most inappropriate stuff. It was amazing.
Fast forward 9 years later, and my dad listened to this episode last week, and he had a whole lot to say, and he sent us both an email, CC'd both of us on it. We're reading it at the kitchen table, and I said to him yesterday, I talked to him, I'm like, I was actually in tears, like laughing, also appreciating that he took the time to do it, because he had some stuff to say. But yes, that garnered a response from even my father, an email, if you will.
Yeah, and I think, I haven't spent too much time thinking of a response to this, but I feel like we say this every week, but we park ourselves in seats, put microphones in our face, hit record, and then we don't edit anything out. And so I almost kind of feel sometimes like, sometimes you see those talk show people that like they slip up and then they end up coming back in the following week or the following, whenever the next episode is, and reflecting on things. And I feel like I end up doing that quite a bit, because this is the first time in my life where I've had an opportunity to hear the things that I say back. Like so much of what I say in life up until this point, 36 years of just like, I say something and never ever hear it again. And never, and I'm never held accountable for anything either. It just kind of comes and goes. But now this shit's just around forever. It's on podcast apps. It's on YouTube. Like people blog about it. Shit's just like out on the internet now. And the last episode, while I think I probably could have like packaged up some of my words maybe a little bit better. And there was a lot of people that made comments back to us that kind of threw me off. Like someone said something to you about like a man being inside of a woman is it's a
very
crazy
personal space.
Yes, it's a very personal space. And like if you're not ready to do that at that given moment, someone should never force you into that, and you should never feel like you need to compromise yourself to get your man off. And I 100% agree. Like I think if you're sitting there and you're just not in the mood and stuff, like the idea of like penetration intercourse is just it's kind of like yucky a little bit. It's like, and that's not what I meant at all. And then I made that joke that I think kind of went under the radar, but when I was like, man, just put a freaking toe on me. And so I think it could be any type of sexual favor. It doesn't need, like, if you're not in the mood, I definitely don't want to have penetration with you. I think it's kind of violating a little bit. It's weird. So anyway, I just wanted to get that out of the way. And then the other thing that I wanted to say is that somebody shared a reel with you from
Trevor Noah.
Trevor Noah, and people that are listening to this probably won't be able to find this unless they go looking for it. But Trevor Noah went on this little diatribe where he was talking about how men oftentimes, the way that we vocalize what we're looking for in this world is we pin it on sex. And I kind of half said that last episode, where it's so easy to pin a man's issues on intercourse. It's like, I just want to have sex. I need to get off and that kind of thing. When really maybe we're all looking at it wrong. I think men... The reason I'm bringing... Oh, man, I'm all over the place. But the reason I'm bringing this up right now is because we're talking about Theodore a second ago and him and then... And big boys don't cry and everything, and then you're bringing up the fact that it's kind of looked at like men need to be these like heroic macho people that never are in tune with their emotions. We just kind of bury your man up. and just bury it. When actually, like, we probably in a lot of regard feel the exact same as women. We just tend to tuck it away. And so Trevor Noah was talking about the fact that oftentimes men sound like all they want is sex, and we'll say all we want is sex, when actually what we want is just to feel loved and appreciated, and for people to try and like understand where we're coming from as men, as we're lost in this world as well. And this is like a way bigger conversation, because I said this like 10 episodes ago when I was talking about how like women are always there to support one another. And that's probably not by default. It's probably because women are okay with sharing those emotions with the world. Like if I went on Facebook right now and started talking about mental illness and how I'm having a hard time and I've been really depressed, 1,000 people would write to me and try and help me. But men don't do it. I don't know why we don't do it. It's like we need to like put this facade up of being these like tough guys or something. And it's weird. I don't know why we do it. So anyway, all this to say that I don't need penetration from you every 2 or 3 days. That's not what I was referring to. Yeah. I think oftentimes it's just feeling skin to skin and feeling like you love me. Mm-hmm. Which brings us back to those compliments.
No. Keep going, Sheridan. No.
Hit me with them. Oh, shit. Anyway, I think that's how men feel.
The Trevor Noah
And I'm sorry
thing.
if I came across crass last episode. I sounded definitely a little douchey if you don't know me and like get my sense of humor and stuff. It's unfiltered on the airwaves and people just get to hear it. And I apologize for my crassness last episode. And I mean that sincerely from the bottom of my heart.
You're cute, hon.
Love you.
Love that about you. That you take accountability. That's added to the list. But the Trevor Noah thing, I believe that he said that he talked a lot about feelings and intimacy, how they're related to feelings. And that, I mean, I guess you just went on quite a bit of a rant. So I think you did sort of express that. But you kind of said at the beginning that you thought that it was more that they need to feel something. Like, how did you just word that? Because it didn't sound like what Trevor Noah said, but you kind of wrapped it up in like what he was saying. And mostly vocalized how men don't have, like you just said, the opportunity to say, I love you. Like just to your friend. It has to be, he said, men won't just say, I love you. They'll say, love you, bro. And it's like a joking kind of fashion instead of just saying like, I love you. Right. And I actually think you're really good at that kind of stuff. I do think that, one of your best qualities is that you're a sensitive man. And I think that more people need to either listen to you and how you do vocalize that and how it's okay to do that. And you've done that since the day we got together. Matt and I used to write each other emails that were like pages long. And you always vocalized, and you said that from day one. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I express how I feel all the time. Like, I'm big in tune with my emotions. And I personally loved that about you. That was my favorite thing about you. You always told me exactly how you felt. You don't shy away from your feelings when you're upset, when you're going through something. Like it's talked about,
Yeah.
And I mean, not every man is like that. Some men just aren't like that. But I do think that there are a lot that are like that and kind of teeter-totter wondering how to act that way when they do want to. They're just not sure how to portray themselves that way, Because
it's not really widely accepted in society.
Yeah.
It's like you pull into Home Depot this morning and look at the way all the guys carry themselves walking around Home Depot. You know what I mean? Like you don't see much friendliness in there. Everyone's just kind of walking around with their chin up and everything, looking for their next wrench they're going to buy or something. It's like when actually they're all like, to some regard, broken guys just walking around that have a story to tell, but we don't tell it. We just
So I think Trevor Noah said, like, for sex, that's the one place where men are able to act, to really show their emotions and stuff like that. And it's acceptable, air quotations. I think that's what he was kind of implying, was that's the one place where men can truly, show their emotions and wear their heart on their sleeve and stuff. So for them, that's why it's so important.
Is in the bedroom?
Is intimacy for that reason. Yeah. It's kind of like the umbrella point, I think. Yeah. Was what he was kind of trying to make. And you're right. I mean, I went out for dinner last night with a whole bunch of girlfriends and like it's kisses, hugs, we're laughing, we're talking about everything under the sun.
Yeah.
And that's just what women do. I mean, again, generalizing, but like most women will go and just gab for life. And you're like, you guys talk about that? I'm like, yeah. We talk about it all.
I know, it's shocking. Every time
Right.
a man hears what a woman is talking about with her friends, it's like, dear God. What?
But like you have to.
Yeah.
You have to talk. You have to open that conversation. And you even say like there's a couple of your friends that you talk to on a deeper level and you love those conversations because you can relate and you can ask how, you know, your relationship's going with your partner and with your kids, and like you can have those big chats rather than just like a, hey bro.
Yeah.
When you know, how you doing?
I would be curious to know from my wide spectrum of friends, how many of them have those conversations with people that aren't me? Is it because of me that I'm like unearthing things about them and like they feel open talking about that stuff with me? Or do they do it with everyone and we're generalizing completely wrong here? I don't know.
I don't know either. But I do think that you and I are both, like, again, tooting our horns, are both quite good at having people open up. Like, I think I'm really good at opening up conversations to people and getting them to kind of express themselves to me. And I think you're really good at doing the same thing. So I don't know. Maybe people do have these conversations. I assume that they have it mostly with their partners because that's their go-to person. But I think that friendships are just as important because they bring a whole other level to, like, a whole other perspective to the table, which you need to hear about.
It was about to come out of my mouth.
What?
I was about to say, because you and I aren't judgmental, but I am judgmental. I'm still, it's been 21, 22 hours
I
of
know.
talking on the show, and I'm still trying to figure that out.
I know.
Because I feel like I'm judgmental with some stuff, but extremely non-judgmental when it comes to like people's issues in life and stuff like that. Because when my friends are talking to me about stuff and we're getting into it, like I have no problem crying in front of a man. I cried in front of Jeff last Friday in the Blueberry Field.
Why?
I looked down and I said, I'm going to cry right now, bro. Like I told him straight up. I added bro.
Bro, yeah.
But I did. Because we were just talking about how fast life goes and how much we love our partners and everything. And I said to him straight up, and then he was talking about how much he appreciates me in his life.
Aww.
And I was like, man, you're going to make me cry
Isn't
right now,
that
dude.
so nice?
And we did. Well, actually, he didn't really. But I was crying in the
You cried
field.
for him. No, but how nice is that to
Yeah.
hear that from a friend? Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice. He was saying that he was hiring contractors to do some work for him, like in the creative field, and that those contractors ended up in a roundabout way talking about Tim and I.
Oh.
And they were just saying how much they admire the work that we do and how we're like the best around doing this stuff. And like we've built this small little team that so many people strive to kind of replicate what we've done. And Jeff was saying that he had this like scent, like he said it, the way he worded it was that it kind of gave him a warm feeling inside that I was his best friend and that other people in the world really admired me. He was like, oh man, it gave me like this sense of pride in our friendship. And I was like,
that's so
Jeff, bro,
sweet.
crying over here, man.
I love that.
Yeah.
And actually, just touching on that, I feel like it's so important for you to give people compliments.
Yes.
Like I say this to Kaya all the time, and I love that she actually does it because oftentimes, like if I think we were at McDonald's one time, and this girl that was serving us or ringing in our order had pink hair, and Kaya looks at me and she goes, "I love her pink hair," and I said, "Tell her." So she goes, "I love your pink hair." And the girl's like, "Thank you." And I said to Kaya, I'm like, "Do you know how nice
Tell
it feels
everyone.
to get a compliment?" So Kaya does it all the time because she knows, and every time she gets a great reaction from people. And I like to say that I do the same thing.
You do.
And so do you.
Yes.
Like Matt will be in the
Think of
drive-thru.
McDonald's this morning.
No, another McDonald's drive-thru though. And I remember Matt saying a long time ago, there's this girl and he pulled up and he goes, "You have the coolest eyes I've ever seen." Remember?
You were in the
And
back.
I'm sitting over there and she's just looking at me. I'm like, "Hey," because it sounded so abnormal to just get an on-the-fly compliment. And the girl's probably like, "Is this man hitting on me with his wife beside him?"
Yeah.
But like, just give out the compliments.
Yeah.
Feels so good.
It
to
absolutely
both give
does.
them out and to receive, right? Like sometimes the act of giving almost always is better than receiving. And so anyway, I say just give everyone
I
all
was
the
like
compliments.
the girl on the drive. It said always McDonald's, but
Yeah.
remember the girl this morning? I was like, you are the happiest person I've ever met in a drive-thru.
Yeah.
I should give you a big raise, and she
Yeah.
starts laughing her
Right.
ass off. She's like, they should give me that raise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Back to compliments.
Yeah.
I love how much you love me. You do. Your loyalty has never wavered. I mean, if you go back to episode 4, I think it was, and it's titled Infidelity.
Oh my God, knows exactly what episode. Go to episode 4, click it now.
No, the reason why I know what episode it is because I think that episode was wildly underrated, and I feel like more people need to listen to that because we definitely spoke a lot about relationships and infidelity and stuff, and I really liked that episode because I think we both carried ourselves really well through it out the episode. But all to say, sorry.
That's some distraction.
All to say, you know, I never, ever, ever, ever worry about our love and our relationship and our marriage. And I know that you support me and you're one of my biggest supporters with my job. You give me praise all the time for how great you think I do at it. And you're just a really, really good man. And I'm so thankful that I'm your wife. Don't cry.
I'm not going to cry right now. I'm keeping it together somehow. I don't know how. Appreciate that, Sheridan.
I'm so grateful that I found you. And I really mean that because honestly, oh my God, I might cry. I have my period.
Cry. Yeah. Come on. You never cry.
Because thinking back to what life was like before I met you and how quickly we met one another from like being so unbelievably broken and very different aspects, but like the same sentiment for both of us. And that we just found each other. Like I can't imagine my life if I never met you. I just can't. If I never sent you a message that night, like it's the best thing I ever did. It's the best decision I ever made.
Was that message
to you? And I knew, I'm telling you, like I said it on my stories on Instagram the other day. I'm like, listen, about Love is Blind. I was like, it sounds so outrageous that people can find love that quickly. But, you know, after I messaged you that night and we spoke for 4 hours, whatever it was. And then the next day we woke up talking again immediately. Like I knew.
I was probably writing you the next morning like,
yeah.
I love you. Yeah, you awake yet?
I'm pretty sure we said I love you like the first night. Which sounds crazy, but like I did immediately. Like I just had this feeling that I had never felt before with anyone else talking to them ever. You just felt like home, you know, safe.
Yeah.
And that's such a cool feeling. And then we built this life and, you know, it was so quick and I moved down and got pregnant with Kaya and it was just a roller coaster. And the fact that we're still here, you know, 9 years later, having gone through so much together, truly, is amazing. Mm-hmm. And we're so fortunate for that.
Yeah.
Because I don't think everybody's as lucky, you know, and I feel so grateful that you're my husband. There you go. There's your rant.
Wow. I love you, Sharon. I really appreciate that. I really do.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, it's been, like you said, it's been almost 9 years of this.
I know.
And while you say we've been through a lot, and we have been through a lot, I think like 99 at least % of it has been so positive. Like,
I think you're forgetting about some hard times that we had, and we definitely did, especially at the beginning. And then with Kaya, and you know, maybe for you didn't have as hard of a time as I did, but like I definitely looking back on it, suffered from postpartum depression with both Kaya and Theo because we had them so close together. I even remember when you're like, let's just have another. And I was like, well, fuck it. I already feel horrible. Let's just add another one in. What's going to, you know? And then, I mean, this is kind of off topic, but then when Sage came, I was like, oh, this is nice. I felt so vastly different. But like I suffered through that. And that was tough. You know, me moving away from my parents, who obviously, you know, I was obsessed with, was tough for me too. You know, us going through financial stuff at the beginning and how we were having such a hard time and living paycheck to paycheck and not sure, you know, where money was going to come from and how we were going to be able to support ourselves. That's tough. Like there's a lot of obstacles and hurdles that we went through to get to the place that we're at now.
Yeah, but that's not what I meant when I say it. 99% of it was positive. Oh man, this could be such a rant right now, but you know, I just think of like, you know, when you look around the world, like every single human, I wonder how many humans have ever been born, It's got to be like 500 billion humans or something like that have been born and died. You know what I mean? That existed on this earth. And I think that it's really, really interesting when you sit there and think that every person has the same amount of hours in a day. Every one of us, every single person. Like, so you see these public figures that it's just how the hell did you achieve this in a lifetime? Like a guy like Jeff Bezos, right? Like driving around on a yacht that's worth as much as our city. Like you know what I mean? Like, how did you achieve that? And he has the same amount of hours that we have in a day. And you look at someone like Steve Jobs. He created Apple. And Apple's now, I believe, worth over $3 trillion as a company. They have more cash than the American government has combined. Apple sits on a bigger cash reserve than the United States government. And you think that all came from the brainchild of this guy named Steve Jobs. And then, you fast forward through his life and he gets cancer at 52 or something like that and dies. It killed him within I want to say less than 2 years. He found out he had it. He withered away on a stage in front of us. Every time he came out to reveal the new iPhone or something, he was skinnier and skinnier, and he passed away. And you just think like life is so short, and every person that you've ever known and ever will know is doing the same thing that we're doing. We're all just trying to figure out this life on this rock. You know what I mean? And like, I just think that when I look at our relationship and what we've done from a bird's eye view, I just think we're so blessed and so fortunate to have found one another and done what we've done. Because inside the walls of every house in the entire universe, there's people going through it. They're going through health problems and personal problems and mental issues and relationship problems and all this stuff. I think when you look at our puzzle that is our life, it's a pretty awesome puzzle. Like the things that you and I worry about on a day-to-day basis are so minuscule to the issues that some people have in their life. So I would feel very confident saying that 99% of our story is a pretty fucking awesome story, I think.
Yep.
Anyway, that's my little rant for that. But
I like that
I
rant.
love you, and we couldn't have done this without each other. I think we complement each other very well, and I think that that's something that man, I'm on one right now, but I just sit there and I think about, the women listening to the show. It's all freaking women. There's like 5 guys. It's all women, but we're all, you look at your partner and like they're riddled with problems, just like I am, just like you are. None of us are perfect. It's just a matter of deciding if you want to make it work with that person and like what you're going to do together. You know what I mean? Like having dreams and aspirations and things that get you excited every day. It's like rather than focusing on the negative things in this world that just kind of manifest and seep their way into your relationship and into your job and anything, like look around the world at what's going on right now. Like just like look around the world and then look at inside the walls of your house and go like, man, like, John didn't bring the laundry upstairs this morning, fucking asshole. And it's like, but John did a million other awesome things for you. And like try and just really focus on that positive things because your life is pretty damn good if you were born on this continent. Like we got it pretty friggin' good in the grand scheme of things. And and then Melissa, love you so much. Oh man, this will end up being what makes me cry. But I look at Melissa. Melissa's been putting all these stories up about Pat and how like in the moment when Pat was here in physical form, how she may not have given him the compliments that he always asked for. Apparently, Pat and I may have had a lot of similarities, a lot of stuff that were very similar between us. But she also made mention of maybe the physical touch wasn't there as often as Pat would have wanted, and now she's saying, in hindsight, what I would do to have one more night with Pat. And just tell him how much I love him. And just touch him one more time. And just feel him one more time. And she's like, women, if you're on earth right now and your partner's next to you, appreciate everything about them because one day they won't be. And the ride's done. So like, man, I sound like I'm preaching the gospel right now. But just like, spend your time on this planet doing things that you love to do and spreading positivity. When you pull through that McDonald's drive-thru, throw a compliment out. Make someone's day. Yeah. It makes that person's day way better. Anyway, I'm getting off this rant. I'm going hard here. I love you.
I love
and
you
life's
too.
good right now.
It is.
It's very good.
Yeah.
Fortunate.
And I don't know what it is about people, and it just kind of is how we work, even when you and I are in an argument, like a big argument, and like, let's say I go somewhere, I think about you more and how I wish that I was hugging you and kissing you rather than when everything's good and you're just right there. And I don't know what is up with that. Like, I don't know why we have these. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to explain what I'm thinking, but it's just like, as soon as
People never
not,
appreciate till it's gone.
There you go. Thank you.
You keep going. Sorry.
No, well, honestly, I feel like I'm down a couple brain cells due to me being out last night until midnight. So I feel like Matt's carrying the conversation today. No. Thank you, hon. I haven't said a whole lot. I'm like,
he's very good at carrying conversation. The gift of gab runs deep.
Oh, it sure does. It sure does. I don't even... what to talk about.
It's Matt episode.
Yeah.
No, but what you were saying is that when it feels like you're losing me.
Yes.
Air quote.
Yeah.
When I feel distant from you is when you want me the most.
Yes.
And that's just what humans do. That's what we do with everything. Like, my tooth hurts a little bit right now. It's like a little toothache. And I'm like, probably should go into the dentist for the first time in a year and a half. My tooth hurts, rather than actually just staying on top of things in life.
This is actually a great point that I'd like to bring up. Therapy. Not because I think that we necessarily need it, but therapy is basically, like, most people end up in therapy when they desperately need it, right?
Yep.
That's why you go, because everything's crumbling, your relationship's falling apart, you need help. But why not think of therapy as just a maintenance thing?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Right? Because
Is it free?
Yeah.
God, man.
Not with our insurance. No, but
Tim.
But that's a great point, because it's kind of exactly what you're touching on. And therapy doesn't need to be like when it's the be all end all and, we need help or else. It's just there to help guide you and make your relationship even better. Like, that's exactly what it's for. And somebody actually messaged me after the episode saying exactly that when they hear us talking and hear it from a different point of view and somebody else's perspective, that it makes them think as well, because it's not their partner necessarily saying it right to them, where they just kind of dismiss it. Rather, it's like you saying something and they take that and they're like, oh, well, maybe I'll think about it because somebody else mentioned it, right? Which is kind of what therapists do. They make you think differently about your partner rather than like how they're trying to express it to you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
So, anybody know any good therapists? We'll be there.
There was a couple things I'm going to remind you of that you wanted to talk about in this episode. There was like questions you wanted to ask me. I'm going to spitball. So there was questions. You had some book where you wanted to reveal a sex scene to me. You got some freaking festive couples quiz sitting here. What is that?
The question I wanted to ask you, and I don't really want to go into too much detail about it, but it actually goes back to Love is Blind, because of course I started watching the other seasons now, and there was a season in season 1, and there was
an episode.
Yeah, there was a man and a woman that got together from the pod. I forget his name, Colton. Maybe I made that up. Anyway, and her name was Diamond, and they got together.
Diamond?
Yeah, that's her real name.
Okay.
And and in the pods, like before they proposed, because they get down on one knee and then they meet each other, he didn't express the fact that he is bisexual, essentially, that he has been with men in the past as well as women. And so when they get to their like resort, you can see he's kind of on the defense. He's not acting the same as he did in the pods. And she's like, what's up? Like, what's happening here? I feel like you're not telling me something, because everything was so great. And that's when he lets his walls down and he tells her about his past and says, I've been with men before as well. And you can see he's like visibly upset that he didn't mention this before.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened off air, because of course I even went to his page and you can see that they're like still talking about it 3 years later. But she basically said to him, because she had to like go away and think on this. My take on it is that he should have said something in the pod. Like if you're giving, your whole life story and expressing who you are as a person, he should have mentioned that before he tried to make a relationship work with her. But I guess what I keep trying to think of, and I'm having a hard time coming up with a reason, is why it would even matter. Like for her. Like, why does it matter that he was with men beforehand? And that's what I guess.
Didn't you just say that you feel like he should have said it?
But that doesn't mean that it matters. I just feel like that's important.
Why would that even be worth bringing up? I'm asking you that. I'm very curious. Because you just made it seem like it matters.
Because I think that when you end up in a relationship with somebody, they know everything about you in your past. I would like to think. Like, I mean, the past is the past, but like, my whole life story. I've never left anything out. You know it, And if you're going to spend the rest of your life with somebody, I think that's, I don't know. I just think that is maybe a fact to be said.
What if he didn't say it because he was worried that maybe this man felt like it was something that he'd rather tell her when he was holding her hand and could let her not run away from the situation. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, maybe he was so into her and just really loved everything about her in the pod. And then it's like, he's thinking in his head, if I say this, it might be a deal breaker when I don't even have a chance to like tear up a little bit and tell her I'm sorry for not telling her or whatever. Like, put his arm around her and say, like, I want you to know this was a part of my past, but I love you. Like, you know what I mean?
But you're who I choose. Yeah. But I guess what I'm saying and what I'm trying to wrap my head around is why does it even matter that he was with a man and now he's choosing to be with a woman? And why does she decide, like, that's not it for me? And I can't figure it out. And then I've asked other people this question and I say, like, I bring it up and they're like, yeah, that's a no for me. I'm like, but why? Because this person's choosing to be with you.
Oh my God, I know you never will, but man, I'd love to know who said that's a no for me.
Well, I've talked about it to a couple of people, and
you were getting people saying that's a no for me.
And then a couple people said yes, like I don't care, but I just think it's interesting. I just want to know why it would be a no for somebody. Like, why does it matter? And then I think about, like, let's say you, for example, and if you had said when we first got together that you had been with men in the past and women, but you're choosing me because you love me. Right? Would it bother me? And I don't know. And that's why I'm like, but why do I care? Why would I care?
I wonder, I don't know. This sounds like some deep, like, psychologist kind of stuff. But like, a part of me wonders if it would be intimidating how comfortable that person is with their sexuality, that like it might be difficult for someone who's less comfortable to sit there and talk to someone who's just so willy-nilly about that they will just let you know that they've been with multiple genders and whatever. Like, it's...
But then I wonder, too, if it's a woman thing or a man thing. Like, if I said to you, hey, hon, like, in the past, I've been in relationships with women as well. Like, would that bother you at the end of the day? And would you feel some sort of way being like, oh, well, maybe Sheridan actually wants to go be with a woman? Do you know what I mean? Or would you just be confident? Like, it's so interesting to me. And that's why it's like, I don't even have a point. I don't have a conclusion. I just find this whole thing fascinating. I really do.
Yeah, I'm like really in my head right now. I'm trying to like morph into this person. So because I think I would feel a little type of way. Like, I'm trying to think, if you came to me at some point in life and you were like, Matthew, I just want you to know that I had been with like...
But sorry, am I telling you this now or when we first got together?
Well, I mean, if you just revealed this now, I think...
Right.
But I mean... Yeah, I don't know. Yes, I would feel a type of way.
But
it wouldn't be a deal breaker.
But why?
Because I think it would just be like... It's almost intimidating how...
And then all of a sudden and then maybe in your brain you think, well, that opens the floor to every single person in the world rather than just women. You know what I mean? Like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of playing field. And maybe I'm insecure about that. Like, I don't know. So I'd be so curious. Like I said, I didn't really want to like draw a conclusion because I don't know. I just keep thinking to myself, why would I care a little bit? Why would I care a little bit?
And then another part of me wonders too if maybe it's something where other than like raw companionship, if you were at some point into the opposite gender, the opposite gender to me,
Yes.
then it goes to show you that there's some things you long for that I can never provide you because I don't have that in my soul. I'm not a woman.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? There's almost like something there where it's like, I know that at some point in your life, you enjoyed something that I can't ever give you.
That's a great point. See, I didn't think of that. That's why I wanted to open, because I'm just curious. And I'm going to leave it.
I think I just solved it. That wasn't top of mind. I dug deep and got that. That was crazy. I think that could be it.
Definitely. That could definitely be a part of it.
That's what
and then
I
if
think
you guys
it would be.
argue or something, you could feel maybe that way. Like, well, I can't give you what you might be looking for or something. Again, I don't.
Well, the companion, if a woman is into a woman and then gets over to being with a man, it's like the man could be sitting there thinking, and vice versa, man, woman, whatever, that you were into something that I will never be able to give you. Like it's.
But then maybe, like, I am assuming, again, people I don't know, but that are interested in both genders really don't care about, like, it's not like they'd rather have this or rather have that. They're just happy with whoever they're with.
Yeah.
Right? But perhaps the person that's with them can't see that.
It's probably like a big soup of stuff, because then there's also the side of it too that could be like, it could be like, if you can't figure out the gender that you want to be with, is there other things in your life that you're uncertain of? Like, because it's...
You mean somebody might feel that way, because I don't think that's how they feel.
No, I'm just... I'm trying to think of how to say this without sounding like a total asshole, but it could seem to some people like, if your life is such a mess that you don't even know what side of the fence you're playing on here, are you going to bring this type of unknown uncertainty? Like, a lot of people just like certain things in life. They like vanilla cake, whatever. They know what they like. And I think to some people it could be very intimidating and confusing being with someone that doesn't really even know who they want to be with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
I'm not saying that's me. I'm just saying that
I could imagine too that somebody that is bisexual would feel very offended by that, because for them, they're like, I know exactly what I want. It's you. It's a person.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I hear what you're saying and how somebody might feel that way. Like, if you don't know, then what else don't you know? But it's like, well, they know. They know they like both genders and they're choosing you, right?
The problem doesn't reside with the person that has been with multiple people.
Right.
The problem resides within the person that's now judging you on who you've been in a bedroom with or had or built a companionship with.
What a fascinating subject.
It is a very fascinating thing. And another thing I'm going to add to it is, I think if a woman came to a man and said I had been with women before, I want to say that would probably be less confusing for the recipient of that information than had it been a man coming to a woman and going, I have been with a man before. I think.
No, and
because women just seem to dabble in it.
It's funny you mentioned that, because I was talking to Talina about it when she was down here, and we had this exact conversation, and we both agreed with that. And she gave me a good reason as to why, and I remember being like, "That's the reason. That makes sense." And now I can't friggin' remember for the life of me.
Oh, for sure.
I know.
What was the reason?
I know, and the way she worded it was perfect, and I was like, "That makes a lot of sense." What the hell did she say?
Talina, drop it in the comments. Get our engagement up a little bit, boo.
Because I agree. And again, I don't know why. That's what I'm saying. I don't know why men, I don't know if they're just like, oh, well, whatever, I have a penis, so that's fine. Like, I'll satisfy you. I don't know. But there was a reason that Talina said, and it made so much sense. So I was like, yep, that makes sense. So Talina, tell us so I can tell everyone.
This reel's going to slap, isn't it? This was one right here.
So I bought this couples quiz at Classic Winners Find for $9.99, and I was looking at it, I'm like, this is just fun. It looks like good conversation starters, and I don't really know.
The festive couples quiz.
Should I put on my Santa hat? I'm sorry, I drank a whole tea and I have to go to the bathroom, so we'll just have to restart this in a sec.
Okay.
You're not okay.
Okay.
Wait.
Sheridan's back now, sitting in front of the microphone, and she's trying to decide whether embarking on the festive couples quiz. Why don't we save this for a whole episode?
No, but let me. Okay, all right, that's fine.
Like, why don't we we'll put Santa hats on.
I love that.
Candy cane hot chocolates. Oh, it'd be fantastic.
That sounds fun, hon.
The Christmas apps are going to be fire.
Yeah,
we'll do it. Like we're gonna be off
We should
work
do
for
a
a couple
whole
weeks.
episode about our favorite Christmas movies. Actually, now that it's top of mind, I just love to talk about Christmas movies.
No, it's
no,
not
but
the time.
Matt, no, but it is. I'm feeling festive. What are your top 3 Christmas movies?
Okay. Number 1, without a doubt, A Christmas Story. It has to be, without a doubt, is the number 1.
Before we go any further, are you looking forward to the latest A Christmas Story being released?
Is that the one with Jen? What's her name?
No, it's literally the guy. It's Ralphie.
Oh, sorry. No, I thought you were talking about that new one with
Lindsay
what's her
Lohan,
name?
no.
Lindsay Lohan. Who doesn't love a little Lindsay Lohan?
No, I know.
Come on.
We love a good Hallmark corny Christmas movie, but
Absolutely.
are you excited about the newest one, or are you nervous it won't live up to the hype?
A Christmas Story is invincible. If they come out and butcher this thing, it has absolutely zero bearing on how fire that movie was. So, but here's the thing. No, that isn't a thing. A Christmas Story. Home Alone. Can Home Alone 1 and 2 live in the same bucket?
It's not acceptable.
No, it's taking up space.
It's not
though.
allowed in the same bucket. Pick one.
They're both so fantastic.
I pick New York every time. It's not a competition for me.
It's so hard, but I also
But New York is so fun. Seeing all of the stores and everybody
am I
outside.
stressed out about this? I'm over here like pinching my eyes. I'm like, is it Home Alone 1 or 2?
Can I put them together? It's too much space. Okay, what?
There's so many good ones.
You have to pick. Well, Matt.
I think if Home Alone 1 and 2 couldn't overlap, I think it would probably be A Christmas Story, then Home Alone 1, then Home Alone 2.
Okay, fine. Put it together. What's your third one?
I'll Be Home for Christmas is pretty good.
Are you serious? Like, are you joking?
Then
or
there's also
serious? No, go back to that one. You're serious about Jonathan Taylor Thomas? I'll Be Home for Christmas?
That's a great movie.
That's your choice?
It's a great movie.
The top 3 Christmas movies in JTT is third for you? Wowie. Okay, you want to hear mine?
Yeah, I'm dying to know yours, even though I kind of already know.
Okay,
them.
what are they? What do you think my first one is?
You're gonna probably say number 1 Home Alone 2.
No.
Okay. What the Griswold's Family Christmas thing.
No.
What's that? That's in the that's
No,
in
it's
one of the
not.
top 3.
Nope.
Die Hard. Okay, you go for it.
Are you actually serious? You don't know my
Oh,
all-time
The
Christmas-
Grinch. It goes The Grinch, then Home Alone 2.
No.
What's between the Grinch? Oh, then it goes Elf.
Yes.
It goes Grinch, Elf, Home Alone 2.
That's right.
Did I
Took
get
you a while, hon.
Okay, there's a lot of them. There's a
The
lot of them.
Grinch is my all-time favorite movie. I absolutely adore it. I think for me, it came out at the perfect time that I was still like very much so in the Christmas spirit. I'm telling you, I thought Santa Claus. I still think Santa Claus is real. Like, I thought Santa was real, realistically, up until I was like 15. And even when my mom would put like presents down, and it was so obvious, I'm like, the spirit's still alive. He's giving presents to everyone else. Like, truly, I'm a huge
gonna tell you
Christmas
something.
lover. Yeah, sure.
I don't like The Grinch. I barely even like that movie. I don't
I'm walking
know.
off set.
No, I don't know what it is. It never really did anything for me. I don't know why. I just, like, can I sit down and watch it? Yes. I don't know.
When I was a child, I think the reason why I liked it so much, and I mean, I wasn't even a child, I was a teenager, but was the magic behind the concept. It's in a snowflake. Okay. So this village is in a snowflake. How cool is that?
Oh, yeah.
And then on top of that, Whoville is friggin' awesome. Like, I remember thinking this is so cool. And honestly, after it snowed, I was like, oh, is there little towns in every snowflake? Like, it really played into the magic for me.
That's
which
cool, yeah.
I think a lot of people will say that with the Polar Bear Express. I've never watched it. I could care less. And that is people's, like, absolute favorite movie. You really like it, don't you?
Oh, my God.
What?
I didn't bring up Santa Claus 1 or 2.
I know.
Oh, my God.
And you know what? Now that you mention it, that's probably my favorite. Santa Claus 1.
Oh, that movie's so good.
Santa Claus 1 is by far.
Yeah, okay, I'm booting out I'll Be
booting?
Home for Christmas. I'm bumping that back. It's a great movie, a great runner-up, but I think I'm going to put Santa Claus 1 as my third.
You know what?
Yeah.
I know I was just so serious about the Grinch, but I think Santa Claus 1 is first for me. Because
So what gets bumped?
the Grinch down to second, and then Elf third.
And then what got thrown out? Home Alone?
I know. No. But the thing about Home Alone is it doesn't put me in the Christmas spirit. I just love the movie. Whereas Santa Claus puts me right in the Christmas spirit. Like that is, again, I remember after I saw that movie when I was a little kid, like I dreamt, I was like, please Santa come and like make my dad become Santa Claus. Like it was, I loved the concept.
Yes.
The North Pole up there was so fire. Like what a great North Pole. The elves and everything and the way they like displayed it was like perfectly in my mind how I have envisioned the North Pole.
Yeah.
So that was an incredible movie. Oh my gosh.
So Theodore tried to put Home Alone on the other day, and I was like, no, I'm not ready yet. Like we wait until we're like, once we begin hitting
When
play
does it
on
start?
Christmas movies. What's the date? It's the 16th.
Yeah.
I think you try and wait till December.
Yeah.
I think you wait till the month rolls over and then you fully engage in like every night a Christmas movie and like putting them on and they're just in the background while you're cooking dinner all the time. Like you get into it.
It's funny because recently I talked about how I really don't like purchasing decorations for special occasions, whether that be Valentine's, Easter, Thanksgiving, the fall, like fall decorations. And I actually really mean it. Like I really do not like buying a whole thing for Halloween. Is in my opinion, in my own personal opinion, a waste of my money, our money. We didn't even get pumpkins this year, for God's sake. That was bad. We should have got some pumpkins. But and like I see it all the time in the online space because that's what I do, right? So everybody's making all these reels of the crafts they're making, or they have like a whole section just for Valentine's books and their little stuffies and stuff. And I'm like, fuck, like I don't do any of that. Kai's like, get me a damn decoration, Mom. But Christmas to me is like, oh, and again, we're not great at decorating, like even Christmas stuff. Like
The inside of our house is cute at Christmas.
Yeah.
The outside.
But for me, it's more
be
of the
better.
traditions. Like I love going Christmas tree hunting. I love watching the movies. I love, the candles being lit. Like it's more that rather than like the decorative part of it.
But you do a good job for Christmas decor.
thanks.
Ish. But I think this year we should step it up. We have a whole bunch of Canadian Tire money freed up. I think we should just take and spend it all on lights and stuff.
We're so bad at lights.
We should.
We have one tree lit. It's like literally pitch
Guys got
dark.
enough Canadian Tire money for like 2 rolls of lights.
Yeah.
It's so expensive.
Yeah, let's go ball out. It's just one tiny tree of lights. I know lights are really expensive. But I would like to get more into the Christmas decorating thing because that's the one holiday that I'm like, love it.
Man, well, there's so many friggin' holidays
I know.
now. You roll through the year, it's like there's 2 a month.
I know.
There's something about Christmas where Christmas is Christmas. And
I
you
agree.
don't frig with it. The
Yeah.
music, the smells, the fires, the
wait.
family, everyone's together and
Yeah.
everything. It's the best thing all year.
Yeah.
Of all the days of the year, the leading up to Christmas, like that little there's like that little 2-week window in around Christmas where it's just friggin' awesome. It's awesome.
I will say though, as I've gotten older, and like I don't mean to make this like a depressing thing, but I've realized too, as we've gotten older and have been around people that are even older than we are, that it can be a very sad time of year.
Yeah.
Like the saddest.
But you know why it's so sad?
Why?
It's probably because at one point it was
Yes.
so happy for
Of
them.
course.
And then like the
yeah.
the shit in life rolls in and like
Or
makes
it makes you realize if you don't have connections with somebody that you wish you did in your family and you're not together, or if somebody's passed and they're not going to be there that Christmas, like it just really brings to light like what your situation is at that time, and it can be really sad.
Oh, yeah,
like
for
really
sure.
sad.
For
Like some people I
sure.
know, like have just been like, I just pretend Christmas doesn't happen that year.
Yeah.
I don't decorate. I don't do anything. Move along. And
Oh, yeah.
they're happy when it's over, and that really, I mean, I don't want to end it on a sad note, but like that.
Oh
really
my God!
fucking sucks, too.
But Sheridan, in essence,
Yes.
Christmas is
Yes.
so good, and the reason that people can be sad around Christmas is because they remember how amazing it was at one point.
Yeah.
Don't bring sadness.
No,
into
you're
our
right. But
Christmas
if anybody
stories.
is
Jeez.
sad on Christmas or will be sad, please come to our home and bring decorations because we need extra.
I think you should actually be serious when you say that. If there's someone out there that wants to have a turkey dinner and a glass of wine, some laughs around Christmas, people, man, 100% come over here. I'm
Oh
gonna
my
throw a
God!
freaking
Should
turkey.
we have a party?
Yeah.
Should we have a Christmas party?
Smoke a turkey?
Now that
It'd be
COVID
friggin'
is like,
awesome.
whatever it is, and like you can have parties and stuff. Wouldn't it be fun to have like a Christmas jingle jingle?
It'd be incredible.
You guys, you're the first ones to hear about it. So like hit us up for the VIP. Okay. We'll be here.
Oh, and where's the decor?
Matt has JTT on the back. Yeah, where's the decor? Sweet
Oh,
lights,
shit.
guys. Couldn't see
Really?
it rolling in.
Half of them are burnt out.
Yeah. Okay, I love you guys. Thank you for being
Let's
here.
wrap her up here.
I need to go have
Thanks
a
for
nap.
the compliments, honey.
I love
you.
you.
Okay, see you
You have
guys.
a great smile.
Oh my God. And like and subscribe to this damn thing. The amount of people that watch the video and aren't subbed, it's like,
Shots
yo,
fired.
you're coming back.
Yeah.
Like that, you at least owe us that. Just hit the
Can I
little
make
thing
an-
that subscribes.
Can I-
and then the little thumbs
it
up
80
thing.
80
It takes 1 second. If a video's watched 1,500 times, why is it only liked 20?
Can I?
Take your little finger, click the thumbs up thing. It actually helps us with this stupid algorithm that holds you back.
Can I say something though?
No.
A lot of people probably don't even have an account. Like even myself, I didn't have an account until we started this podcast, and I had to create one in order to do a little thumbs up. Yes.
Okay, sure.
Definitely, people
Sure,
click
in
on
those
it. That just watch
1,300
from-
subs, more than 20 people have an account. Like, do the math on this.
Thanks, guys.
All
for
I'm
the
saying is just
love.
hit the little thumb.
Yeah.
It means a lot.
It's the Two
See ya.
Gems Podcast.